Good afternoon. Oh, come on. Good afternoon. There we go. Okay. Good. My name is Jerry Conrad. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and I have the honor of being the MC today. And I know we're here basically for three reasons. One is to embrace our community. Two is to demonstrate our patriotism, which we just did. And three is to honor our veterans. So as we get started here today, we want to start first with a pledge and then the national anthem and Star Spangled Banner. That's the national anthem. And we're going to do them back to back. So I'm going to ask you all to please stand, remove your headgear. And veterans, feel free, or active duty either, feel free to salute the flag as we do the pledge and do Star Spangled Banner. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And now Flo Predko will now lead us in the Star Spangled Banner.
This is not just my national anthem, it belongs to all of us. So sing it loud, sing it proud, and let veterans everywhere know that we support them. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
All right. Thank you, Flo. And thank you all. Again, thank you for being here. And next, it's indeed an honor to introduce the Vice President of Muskegon Community College, Dr. John Selman.
Thank you, Jerry. Oh, boy, that's a little loud, isn't it? How's that? Okay. Good afternoon and welcome to our annual Veterans Day ceremony as we take time to formally say thanks for your service to our men and women of the armed services. And that's on behalf of our president, Dr. Dale Nesbury, as well as our board of trustees. We simply want to say, well, this is a great event every year, and we really take pride in what we do. In the United States, Memorial Day and Veterans Day are federal holidays used to commemorate the lives of soldiers and others who have served in the armed services. Memorial Day celebrates those men and women who died serving in the United States Armed Services, while Veterans Day honors everyone who has served in the United States Armed Services, not only those who have passed. So again, welcome. I think we're looking for an exciting program. I do know that perhaps there are a couple of dignitaries here. I think Marcia Hubby Wright, did I see her come in? Marcia Hubby Wright, please give her a hand there. Commissioner Terry Sable here. All right. And I know for sure one of our Board of Trustees members, I see Trustee Roy Portiga. Hello. I don't know if any more board members are here. You know, when you do this stuff, you kind of run the risk of missing somebody. So I apologize if I miss you. But anyway, welcome, and you're in for a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Selman. In your program, there's a description of the MIA POW table over to your left. Gives you the details of why it's there, the significance of the items that are on the table, and the meaning of it. So I wanted to identify that, make you aware of that. Also, we have the wreaths up here, these two wreaths. One is the Captain Thomas Tabler Chapter Colonial Dames, a patriotic organization that supports our veterans for preserving our national heritage and helping maintain our blessings of freedom, liberty, and justice. The other wreath is the Daughters of the American Revolution. They actively serve our community by preserving history, educating children, as well as honoring and supporting those who serve our nation. So those two wreaths are important to our community. And now, we have an invocation by Chaplain Bob Hall of the American Legion, Post 9. Chaplain Hall.
Please stand and remove your hats. Almighty God, Father of all mankind and Judge over nations, we pray you bless this memorial service and to look down with favor and understanding upon the hearts of those who are gathered here to pay their tribute, to those who have made the supreme sacrifice and for the benefit of all free men everywhere. The lives of those who paid the supreme sacrifice are glorious before us. Their deeds constitute a daily inspiration for those likewise ourselves who remain in their home communities. In God we trust, and may the faith of our fathers guide, protect, and sustain our people. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Chaplain. And now for our listening pleasure, we have the Muskegon Community College Wind Ensemble directed by Daniel Myers, and they will play for us America the Beautiful. right. Thank you very much. Next up, Nancy Fry. Nancy Fry currently serves on the MCC Board of Trustees. She is the board secretary. Nancy is a proud veteran of the United States Air Force, where she serves as sergeant, a court reporter, and administrative specialist. Please help me welcome Nancy Fry.
It's wonderful to see all of you here today. I just need to take a moment to recognize my husband of 56 years. We met and married in the United States Air Force. He spent 24 years in the service, and I only had my measly 4. But my husband, Huey Fry, would you stand, Huey? In 2009, the Serve American Act established 6 priority areas for corporation for national and community service and its programs, including increasing engagement of veterans and service to veterans and military families. Since that time, AmeriCorps and Senior Corps programs have engaged and served tens of thousands of veterans and military families. We are delighted that some of those very Corps volunteers are here with us today. On behalf of the United Way of the Lakeshore and our community in which you serve, volunteers, it is my distinct privilege to recognize and honor the National Veteran Corps honorees in our audience for giving your time as a member of the National Veteran Corps. Through AmeriCorps and Senior Corps, you are continuing to serve your country, our country, applying your leadership abilities and skills to solve problems on the home front. As a veteran serving veterans and military families, you are carrying out the spirit of our shared values of devotion, honor, and service to our great nation. Today, we thank you for your dedication to strengthening the fabric of American society. On behalf of the United Way, the Muskegon Community College Board of Trustees, and our community, thank you. Will you please stand to be recognized, those that are here today? Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. Next up, military veteran from the U.S. Navy. We will now hear from Christian Zwitt. Christian is an active member of the Student Veterans Organization, and he has been since he became a student here in 2015. He is studying to earn his associate's degree, and then continue his education in pre-med, and then ultimately attend medical school and become a doctor. Please help me welcome Navy veteran Christian Zwitt.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Muskegon Community College for this opportunity to speak today. As you have heard, I'm Christian. Currently, I have about 1 more year before I transfer over to Michigan State and then off to med school. So exciting stuff. My aspirations are deeply rooted. It was something I was moving towards before I even consciously knew it. Let's back up to December 10, 2012. I just arrived at boot camp and I was going through P-Days. All the Navy veterans out there will know the horrors of P-Days. I remember as I processed through those days, my favorite part of the day was when we were being processed by the doctors. It just gave me an opportunity just to talk to them, just to pick their brain. And it was just my favorite part of it. It was so interesting to me. As we continued through training, and we graduated from boot camp and subsequently pre-buds, I understood exactly what my role in the SEAL teams what my role in the SEAL teams would be. I wanted to attend 18 Delta Special Forces Medical School and become my team's corpsman, that's the Navy's medic. Little did I know that my life had other plans. In late May of 2013, I was rolled out of BUD/S Class 301 for a hip flexor injury. And following my release from physical therapy 5 months later, I broke my spine following a traumatic fall off of an obstacle. Understanding that this was my only chance, I pushed forward and I stayed in training for another 3 months before I began the process of medical separation. During this time, I underwent many struggles of adjustment that many other transitioning veterans face. This ultimately led to some trouble for me, which turned out to be a blessing in disguise and only served to solidify my commitment to becoming a doctor. My ultimate goal is to attain a spine surgery residency and assist those with injuries similar to what I have gone through. It is important in this day and age that we reach out to those struggling and give them a helping hand. Never before in my lifetime have I seen this beautiful country so conflicted. It's at times like these that we need to rely upon each other and lead the way for others. No one else in this nation has sacrificed so much as the veteran community has. And it is important that we continue our commitment to our country and to ourselves and stand united during a time that has seen so much division. John Quincy Adams once said, "If your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, you are a leader." Now is the time to step up and be leaders that this country needs, as so many of us have done before. Finally, I'd like to acknowledge all those that we have lost along the way and those that have made the ultimate sacrifice. On the screen over there, you'll notice a picture of SO3 Jason Courts. He was the first casualty of my BUD/S training class. Jason was an amazing person, one of those guys that was always smiling, always friendly to be around, but that you would never want to be in a fight against. If you would also turn your attention to the back of your program, you will see the names of 4 of our own from here in Muskegon County that have given their lives. To all those that have and all those who will give their lives for this country, I say, Till Valhalla, brothers. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And now the learning opportunity is upon us because we have a gentleman that's going to speak to us now who knows just about everything there is to know about the military. And he's going to share some of that with us today. Next up is Air Force veteran Steve Allen. Steve is the County Council Commander from the VFW. And he's here today to help us understand more about the military branches, which he will display on the screen to your right. Steve, please help me welcome Steve. Come on down, sir.
Thank you. Well, this is amazing. 2 great Veterans Days in a row. This is an unusual weather, and we're glad you can be here today. We veterans are really quite proud of whatever branch of the military that we served in. Today, I'd like to give you a quick overview of each branch of the military. But first, honor guard, rise, cover. Right face, post. The first is the United States Army. Founded June 14th, 1775, with General George Washington being appointed as the commander. Their motto is, "We will defend." The march is the Army goes rolling along. Currently, there are 475,000 active duty personnel, 540,000 Reserve and National Guard personnel. It's the largest military department in the United States military. It also has 4,948 aircraft. The next is the Navy. Founded on October 13, 1775. But in 1785, the Navy was actually disbanded because the country did not have enough funds to keep her in service. On August 4th, 1790, the United States Congress created the Revenue Marine, which was a forerunner of the United States Coast Guard to enforce tariffs. In 1797, the Department of the Navy was created. Their motto is not for self, but for country. Their march is anchors away. They have 329,000 active personnel, 109,000 reserve personnel, 276 deployable ships, 430 total ships, and 3,700 aircraft. The next is the Marines. The Marine Corps was founded on November 10th, 1775. I believe they just had their 241st anniversary yesterday, right, Billy? Okay. Those Marines, they like to have anniversaries. The Marines are actually part of the U.S. Navy. Motto is Semper Fi, which also means always faithful. Their march is Semper Fidelis and the Marine Hymn. They have 182,000 active personnel, 38,500 reserve personnel, and they have 1,186 aircraft. The next being the Coast Guard, the United States Coast Guard. Founded in August 4th, 1790 as the Revenue Marine, and then on January 28th, 1915, it merged with the Revenue Cutter Service and the U.S. Life-Saving Service to officially become the United States Coast Guard. They are the smallest of all branches of the military. Their motto is always be ready. Their march is Semper Patres. They have 42,190 active duty personnel, 7,899 reserve personnel, 32,000 auxiliary members, 8,700 civilian employees. They have 244 cutters, 1,850 boats, and 205 aircraft. And finally, the United States Air Force, founded September 18th, 1947. Prior to that date, this branch of military was known and was under the command of the Army. It was known as the United States Army Air Corps. Their motto is aim high, fly, fight, win. The march is the U.S. Air Force. They have 308,000 active duty personnel, 69,000 reserve personnel, 105,500 Air Guard personnel. It has 7,468 aircraft, of which there are 5,414 fixed aircraft, 1,840 fighters, 162 bombers, and 52 early warning radar type aircraft. And this number does not include research and drone aircraft. 450 intercontinental ballistic missiles and 63 satellites. That's a quick snapshot of the United States military. As you can tell, it's a strong and mighty force. And the members who served or who have served in all the branches of the service do it with honor and distinction. Today, we honor you veterans. Thank you, and I salute you. At this time, the Muskegon Community College Jaywalkers, directed by Thomas Clark, will sing the military branch anthems and will be accompanied by MCC Wind Ensemble, directed by Dan Myers.
Will the veterans and members of the United States Army please stand? veterans and members of the United States Navy please stand? Veterans and members of the United States Marine Corps, please stand. Will the veterans and members of the United States Coast Guard please stand? The veterans and members of the United States Air Force, please stand.
Thank you. Thank you all. Our next speaker has a special message for us. Next speaker is Muskegon County Chief Judge Raymond Kostrava. And Judge Kostrava is a graduate of Michigan State University. Nothing? Michigan State University. Okay, I thought I'd hear something there. That's a pause. Yeah, that's been a long year for you guys, hasn't it? Sorry about that. And the University of Detroit Law School. He joined the Muskegon Prosecutor's Office and quickly was promoted to Chief Trial Attorney. In 2014, he was appointed to 60th District Court, to the District Court, and in 2016, he was appointed by the Michigan Supreme Court to serve as Chief Judge of the Muskegon 60th District Court. In addition to these duties, he currently serves as the presiding judge over the Muskegon County Veterans Treatment Court. Please help me welcome Chief Judge Raymond Kostrava.
Okay, can you all hear me? Yeah. Is there some reverb? All right. I'm here to talk to you today about some very serious issues, but I want to tell you that I had the opportunity to address some folks at a memorial service down at the Causeway at the Veterans Memorial Parkway this morning, and it was a beautiful day, sun shining, but the wind picked up and blew some of my notes away, so my speech got a little shorter. That's good for you. Some would say that's very good for you. But in all seriousness, I want to talk to you about some very serious issues that face veterans today, and it's very fitting that we take a national holiday to honor every veteran of the United States military, both men and women that serve. They take an oath, they raise their right hand, and they say, I'm going to give you my life to defend the freedoms of this country. That is no small thing that they do. That is monumental. And it's very fitting that we take a day to honor every veteran, and we need to remember that. Most veterans are certainly strengthened by their military service. They come back and assimilate back into the community and serve their communities well, just like they serve their country well. But not all. Some are made more vulnerable by their service. Now, the information I have and I'm going to present to you is based on criminal justice studies. It's based on experts from areas of medicine. It can be fact-checked. Check it out. Look at the website Justice for Vets. It's a nationally based website where all Veterans Treatment Court training arises. We are evidence-based, and I thank God for that. But the principal study was published in 2009 out of Austin, Texas, and medical experts agree that no veteran returns from serving in a war zone unchanged. The Journal of Internal Medicine reports that the best estimates that we can come up with are between 25 and 30% of those returning veterans suffer from some mental illness that makes transitioning back into civilian life far more difficult than for others. And sometimes these lingering effects take months or even years to manifest, and often they manifest in a way that brings the veteran into the criminal justice system. They have violated some criminal law. Those veterans who present to the criminal justice system are very unique. They present with mental health issues or substance abuse issues or alcohol abuse issues, and most commonly a combination of all three. The statistics show that 1 in 5 vets, or 20%, have some issues regarding mental illness. 1 in 6 have some substance abuse issues. They suffer from post-traumatic stress disorder or traumatic brain injury. And these conditions are often service-connected. 86% of the veterans in the criminal justice system, those that come into the system, were discharged honorably, generally or medically. That leaves a very small percentage that were dishonorably discharged. And why I give you that statistic is because that means that over 86% come into the criminal justice system being eligible for VA benefits and services. Why do I tell you that? Because when we get vets in the criminal justice system across the country, here in Muskegon too, but across the country, only about 30% of them are currently receiving the benefits through the Veterans Administration that they are entitled to. And left untreated, these conditions that I talked about bring that veteran into the criminal justice system. Some of the most staggering statistics that we must come to grips with is that 22 veterans a day, on average, take their own life by suicide. Now that's staggering and tragic, and we've got to do something about it. The message that the Veterans Treatment Court in Muskegon and across the country gives is there is help to be had. These veterans are not alone, and there is hope. Now, how many in the audience here have heard of Project 22? All right, outstanding. Thank you. We need to pass the message of what Project 22 is. What Project 22 is, for those that don't know, it's a documentary film made by 2 veterans. So 2 veterans made a difference in this community. What can we do? They made a difference across the country. They made a documentary film after one of those veterans attempted to commit suicide. His very close friend, another veteran, took a phone call from him in the middle of the night when the distraught veteran said, "I'm about ready to take my life." His friend and fellow veteran talked him out of that. And they came together and talked. And they decided, what can we do to help other veterans. And they, because they were motorcycle enthusiasts, said, let's ride across this country in 22 days and see what kind of support we can get for our vets. See what kind of public awareness we can give to this glaring issue. And in 22 days, they rode from San Francisco to New York, and on every stop across the country, they spoke with vets who suffer from the same issues that I'm speaking about. But they not only did that, they spoke with treatment providers, health professionals, that gave them messages of hope. And I'll tell you, if you watch the video, you're going to see how veterans got involved in pottery, they got involved in music, they got involved in equestrian, horse riding, they got involved in surfing, in sailing, whatever it was. It was a message of hope. And in about 42 minutes, these veterans produced a video that it changed the way I viewed things, and it's worth the watch. So look it up. We had the opportunity this summer to present that video in a public forum on LST 393. And we had many people there. I would have liked to have seen hundreds of people there, but we got our message out. And again, the Veterans Administration, along with Muskegon Health West, the community health program in Muskegon, showed it again this fall. What I want to talk to you now about is Veterans Treatment Court. What is it? Well, what it is a very new way of dealing with veterans in the criminal justice system. And the reason I talked about Project 22 is because Muskegon is one of those communities that has this issue. Veterans coming into the criminal justice system with mental health issues and substance abuse issues and alcohol issues. We are no different. The Veterans Treatment Court ideal, or the model behind it, came to be in 2008 in Buffalo, New York, when a judge recognized that there could be more done and should be more done by judges and by criminal justice professionals to ensure that veterans are connected with the VA benefits and the treatment that they have earned, and that's a big word, earned through their military service. I want to share with you what I see in the Veterans Treatment Court as a presiding judge. When an individual comes in as what I call a participant in the treatment court, that means they've been arraigned on a criminal case, from felonies to misdemeanors. They come in to the treatment court oftentimes broken, monetarily broken. They're homeless. But more importantly, they're spiritually broken. I see them before me, and I'm arraigning them as they are about ready to enter the program, and their shoulders are down, their heads down, they'll barely look anybody in the eye. And these are veterans of the United States military. There was a day when they had their uniform on, and their shoulders were back, and their chin was up, and they were ready to serve their country. And now they present in a broken state. What I believe, and the model behind the Veterans Treatment Court, is they've earned a second chance. Here are some of the important facts that you need to know. Veterans Treatment Court, the model, requires regular court appearances. This is not a slap on the wrist for these veterans. It's bi-weekly, at a minimum, bi-weekly contact with the court, mandatory attendance at treatment sessions, frequent and random testing for substance abuse and alcohol. I would say this, the veterans respond very favorably to a very structured environment. Through the Veterans Treatment Court, we are able to ensure that we meet the obligations that we have to them, and they meet their obligations to the community. The Veterans Treatment Court allows the judicial system to get involved in a veteran population in a different way, not business as usual. Business as usual would be the veteran comes into the system and gets a random judge that may or may not appreciate the unique qualities that they present within the system. The Veterans Treatment Court team, and it's not just me, it's a team of professionals. We've got the prosecutor, DJ Hilson, that's fully on board with this. We've got Gary Britton, a local attorney, very good attorney, who serves every veteran that participates in the program, what we call pro bono. Attorney Portinga knows what that means. That means for free. So that means Gary Britton serves for free, gives us a day a week. And that's significant. We've got other mental health treatment professionals that help us. It's not just me, and we can then uniquely address these issues of traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, and post-traumatic stress disorder. The Veterans Treatment Court attempts to tap into the unique aspects of the military culture and use it to benefit the veteran. It allows the participant to become a part of a program where they work with fellow veterans, re-enlisting a sense of camaraderie that they felt while they were in the military, and I'm telling you, it works. I see astounding changes in these men and women that come into the court system. It makes my heart glad when I see a veteran in front of me and through an 18-month program where they might be 6 months in and they say to me, Judge, this is the first time I've been sober for 6 months since I left Afghanistan. This is the best that I've felt since I was in Iraq. That makes me happy. That means that somebody is back in the community and they're willing to serve again. For those who have spent any time in the justice system, a visit to the Veterans Treatment Court would be somewhat of a revelation, I would say. You would see a veteran standing at parade rest before the judge, not often seen in the criminal justice system. I've got the help of, I said, many professionals. It's not just me. I have a Veterans Outreach Coordinator that's working closely with the VA and the criminal justice system. He's a lawyer. He knows the ins and the outs of both the VA and the criminal justice system. He's an invaluable resource. I couldn't do the job without these professionals helping me. And I can't go without mentioning the mentors. The mentors in the program, these are veterans who volunteer their time to give their phone number, give their address, give all their contact information to the veteran participant, that broken individual who needs a friend that they can relate to, somebody who's been in the military that they can relate to. The mentors make the program work because it's they're on call 24/7 to this mentor, or to the participant, I should say. And what are we trying to do? We're trying not to mitigate the individual's responsibility to the community or the criminal justice system because they committed a crime. We're trying to put that person back in a position where they can be a contributor back to the community and serve just like they served in the military, give them a sense of pride. What are we talking about? We're talking about community service. How important is that? Nancy talked about some folks that are serving the community and they stood up. We need to instill that in our young people. Christian, thank you, a young person, ready to give back to his community. This morning I met a veteran of the United States military who was 2 years out, a very young man, a lot more hair than me, and it was not gray. And he said, I want to be a mentor. That's what we're looking for. Anybody that knows a vet or is a vet that would like to mentor in the Veterans Treatment Court, we'd love to have you. We need all the help we can get. But it's that sense of giving back to the community that I want to talk about for just one moment. And it's reverence for that flag that we need to always recognize. When I was a young boy, my father taught me how to give reverence to the flag. He was born in 1929, so in 1941, he was 12 years old. He couldn't serve in the Second World War, but as soon as he could, he joined the National Guard. He went through and was an Eagle Scout. He knew what it was to give reverence to the flag, and on every Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day, Flag Day, Veterans Day, he was proudly out at daybreak, putting the flag up on our house on the little mount that stood next to the front door, and our flag hung there until dusk. And he went down and folded it back up and put it away. And as a young kid, that taught me that's an important deal. I thank him for that. I hope he can hear me. But he went on to serve his community as a planning commissioner and a township supervisor who was active in his church, a member of the KCs, I said a scout leader. But he taught my family what it was to really be patriotic, what it meant, and to give back to your community because we owe it. And that's what makes Muskegon great, is we've got a lot of people that are ready to do that. So the best thing we can do is teach a young person what it means to give back to the community. And that's what we're trying to do in the Veterans Treatment Court. Put these veterans back in a position that they can serve again. How important it is to pass that on. I quote from Ronald Reagan. He said, "Freedom is fragile. Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. It is not ours by inheritance. It must be fought for, protected, and defended, and handed on for them to do the same. Or one day we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States where people were free. My hope is that every veteran that comes into the Veterans Treatment Court program after they complete 18 months of pretty intensive work is there again standing, shoulders back, chest up, proud in the chin, a person ready to give back to their community with that sense of pride that they had on the day they graduated from boot camp. I want to tell you that this treatment court program is working in Muskegon County. Our veterans are serving the community. I mandate community service as a part of the program because when you serve the community, you start feeling good about yourself. And when you start feeling good about yourself, you hear the spiraling effect downward. Well, you can spiral upwards as well. And it builds on itself. And once they start feeling good about themselves and giving back to the community, good things start happening in their lives. And it's a simple idea, but it works. And we are changing lives. I have veterans in front of me, men and women, who say, I haven't felt this good in 10 years. It's good to be clean and sober without the bottle or the needle. And for that reason, I stress to you to support the Veterans Treatment Court program. It works. It's a great way of looking at things. I want to say this in closing. I give honor to every veteran, and I thank you for your service. It's because of what you said you'd do. You raised your right hand and took an oath to serve our country and give your life to defend it, that we get to talk about this today in a free country. So thank you very much, and God bless America.
Thank you, Judge. We appreciate everything you do for our community. Please join us as we observe a moment of silence, which will be followed by a 21-gun salute. This will be immediately followed by the playing of taps in honor of all the American men and women and the armed forces who gave their ultimate sacrifice, their own lives, in defense of our nation. Please take a moment with me. Thank you. Officer Day, perform your duties. Please be seated. We'll now be retiring the colors. present arms. Order arms. Please join us in singing God Bless America, led by Flo Predko. Flo? And along with Barbershop.
Before we start, I'd like to introduce the Muskegon Shoreline Chorus, a group that I have a standing date with on November 11th of every year. Now please stand, hold the hand of the neighbor beside you, as is tradition, and sing God Bless America with us.
To the
Thank you. I'd like to take this moment to say to the judge, thank you for your research-based, evidence-based information and your service to the Veterans Treatment Court. Also the Christian, thank you for sharing your personal journey with us, and the best of luck to you in your medical studies. On behalf of the Muskegon County Council VFW, I would like to present these gifts to Judge Kostraba and Christian Zewitt and thank them again for their services. So, Judge, would you please come forward? And Christian, will you come forward, please? And thank you again. And my final comment, refreshments are available after the ceremony over here to my right and obviously your left. So thank you, and we appreciate you coming this year.